Costa Rica, the land of waterfalls, bridges, volcanoes, treetop adventures, hot springs, mountains and rivers, unique wildlife, surfing, and isolated beaches. Our Costa Rican adventure begins in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. A quick 50-minute hop takes us from Chippewa County International Airport, located in Sault Ste. Marie, affectionately known as the Sioux, to Detroit Metro, the largest airport in Michigan. After a 3-hour layover, we board a plane destined for Atlanta, Georgia. Our trip continues from Atlanta with a 4-hour flight taking us over the Gulf of Mexico to the capital city of Costa Rica, San Jose.
We'll give an update as they start coming over, and once they start finishing our DI's application, so we'll give another announcement that it's part of living in the north side, so we'll keep you updated.
How's our trip going so far? Yay! Yay! We made it to Atlanta. We want to get on the flight and get there because we just basically have to get to bed when we get to San Jose. We were instructed to call our B&B shuttle driver once we arrived in San Jose. Being outside the US, I let her know we would not be able to use our phones. She told us once we cleared customs to find a local outside the airport and have them call her for us. This seemed a little sketchy and undependable at best.
Le pedimos que por favor se permanezcan sentados con sus cinturones de seguridad abrochados hasta que el capitán ha detenido.
We made it. We got some help here. We were relieved when we arrived that there were people willing to help. This nice gentleman called for us and asked for nothing in return.
I think it's colder, right?
Oh, it's very cold.
I mean, it's not as cold as Michigan, but it's very cold.
The room's a little small. It's alright. It's doable. We'll survive. I mean, we're getting up at 6 in the morning hitting the road anyway, so. Yeah, we did her. We'll see some more in the morning. With daylight revealing our location, we find our surroundings to be a well-tended cul-de-sac, all owned by one family. I wasn't sure if someone was having fun with us, but it was brought to our attention this area was more of a complex and owned by a godfather-like figure named Hector. The main entrance and gate to our peaceful B&B certainly helped support that assumption.
Morning, where are you from?
Michigan.
This is your table, the feed.
We're served a traditional breakfast of gallo pinto, also known as tico beans and rice, served with eggs, fresh fruit, fried plantain, coffee, and juice. We're headed to LaFortuna today, and we're doing a big zip line. So we got a 2 or 3 hour drive, and hopefully all will go well there. We'll be safe, and we'll be done. Oh, and there's a big dog coming. Hey. After months of preparation and trying to educate myself on driving in Costa Rica, I found out there was no realistic way to prepare for this. Approaching LaFortuna, the Arnold volcano comes into view. This volcano, rising 5,400 feet above the valley floor, was considered one of the most active volcanoes in the world until it became dormant in 2010. Prior to that time, lava flows and the release of ash clouds and gases could be seen from the surrounding areas. In 1968, it erupted so violently it destroyed 2 nearby villages. Though there is currently no visible activity, it continues to heat numerous hot springs and draws tourists to the area for a number of different activities. The town of LaFortuna, though closely connected with the volcano, escaped the destruction and is now the central hub of the Arenal volcano area. The travel site Airbnb has become our #1 way of finding great places to stay. This apartment was no exception. We've never really found all-inclusive resorts or hotels to be our style. Located in the middle of Barrio Dora, or the Dora neighborhood, we were able to shop local, meet the neighbors, and get a genuine feel of the town. Our bags have exploded. So that's where we're at there. After quickly settling in, we made our way to the Skytrek Ultimate Zipline, located about 40 minutes from our apartment. We had done ziplines before and I kinda had this been there done that attitude until seeing some of the stats on their operation. The 7 ziplines were accessed by a Skytram starting at an altitude of 4,100 feet. The longest zipline coming in at just under a half-mile in length, and the highest cable suspending you almost 700 feet above the rainforest canopy. What do you think, Cal? That was impressive, wasn't it? Mine was. When we came out of those trees, I went, ooh.
Wow.
No sloths up here?
Yeah, we have it by the 5 fingers.
Oh!
Really, sir?
Yeah.
Enjoy. Pura vida.
I heard it.
You're responding me. Okay, Mauricio, Christian, Nacho, Space Nacho,
Jose Prado.
Tado.
No, his name is Skytrack.
Gosh, this... So what'd you think of that experience, Cal?
Woo!
Woo! What'd you think, Yvonne?
Woohoo!
That was a good crew. Good morning, Costa Rica. A little bit of rain. It's warm though. It's about 78 degrees. I've been up since about 5, trying to figure out what we're gonna do today. It's gonna be rain related, whatever it is. With only a few days in the LaFortuna area, we set out to explore the numerous streams, rivers, hot springs, and the town itself. See the swing? This area was called Solto and was a local hangout. We got a tip to visit here from people who live in the area. Something we had heard a lot about while planning our trip were the random police checkpoints. In Costa Rica, there's no such thing as probable cause. Something as simple as not having your ID could result in a visit to the local police station. Fortunately, though we saw many of these checkpoints, we were never stopped or detained. Most of the time we were just met with a nod or a wave. This is the hot springs. They're natural flowing. It's heated by the volcano. And it's literally steaming, it's so hot. It's like warm bath water right here. With our afternoon winding down, our stay in the area wouldn't be complete without a walking tour of our neighborhood and a visit to the main part of town. Hi. Though the center of LaFortuna was very popular, we were relieved to find that it wasn't overcrowded. Eating out was fairly reasonable, and a full roast chicken dinner for 3 would typically only set you back about 16,000 colones. That works out to around $28 US. Before turning in for the night, we decided to flip through some of the local TV channels. They had some pretty interesting programming.
Han reinventado las serenatas para este 14 de febrero.
Our last day in LaFortuna, we're getting ready to head out. We have a 5 or 6 hour drive. Gas, and gas is full service in Costa Rica. It's regulated by the government, so the prices are all the same. So you don't have to drive around looking for different prices. It's kind of handy, actually. Expensive, but it's handy. It's about, what, almost $4 a gallon. And we gotta get super.
Okay. Yon, yes. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's for you.
Ah, gracias. The next part of our trip takes us to Puerto Viejo, a beach town on the Caribbean Sea near the Panamanian border. Though Costa Rica is generally a mountainous country, our 5 to 6 hour drive would be a little less impressive. Though quite scenic by Michigan standards, this route took us through a relatively flat area filled primarily with plantations and farmland. Our route was also the main artery between San Jose and the port city of Limon. This would mean large stretches of slow traffic on a crowded highway, with us frequently getting caught behind tractor trailers hauling supplies to and from the port. Do you know where we're going? Nope. Got a map. Though the drive was a little bit monotonous at times, there were several occasions when we did experience some really beautiful countryside. The roads in Costa Rica have a reputation of being so bad there are actual t-shirts. Throughout our trip we had been spared, but about an hour and a half from our destination between the towns of Limon and Cauita, our luck finally ran out. Here's the roads they were talking about.
Even with a gimbal you can't.
No. Might want to roll up the window there. Once we passed through the town of Kent, we got our first look at the eastern coast in the Caribbean Sea. Whenever we travel to warmer climates in the south, we're rarely more than an hour from the ocean. Staying in the interior Costa Rica was nice, but we were glad to finally see the beaches and the water. After 5.5 hours of driving, we finally reached the town of Puerto Viejo de Talamanca, or more commonly referred to as just Puerto Viejo. Puerto Viejo is known as a beach town where surfing, snorkeling, scuba diving, and fishing are some of the main activities. To our surprise, we also found out it's a popular destination for a more laid-back, almost bohemian crowd made up of mostly European and North American college-age kids. The area was saturated with hostels, bars, and outdoor restaurants.
No, Black Beach Super. What? Oh. They're surfing. Right now,
Part 2 of our adventure takes us in and around Puerto Viejo, its beaches, attractions, and the activities around it.